Hi, it's Erik Paulsen, and welcome to our video conversation this week. I'm standing with you in Capitol Hill here at the U.S. Capitol in Statuary Hall. Actually, it's the old House chamber. You see a lot of visitors that are taking the time to be here right now. Also, in this week in Washington, we had quite a few folks from Minnesota come out and visit, sharing their views from the American Cancer Society and their network, sharing their legislative initiatives and priorities on palliative care, and also making sure that we're focusing on advancing and advocating for pre-cancer screenings to catch cancer in an earlier stage. Some good bipartisan work being done in that effort. Now it's time to get to our questions. And the first is an email that comes in from Plymouth. It's from William. And he writes in, "Dear Congressman Paulsen, giving $100 billion to a government that openly says death to America and actively funds terrorists that attack us and our allies will result in the death of U.S. citizens and allies. Iran has a long record of supporting terrorism around the world. Please do all that you can to help stop them. Thanks, William." Well, William, thanks for sharing your concerns. And what actually William is referring to, of course, is the recent Iran negotiated deal that will now, proposed by the administration, that will allow $100 billion or more to flow to Iran in economic sanctions relief. I believe, as do many other folks, that before those economic sanctions should be lifted, we should first make sure that court-ordered judgments to all American victims that are victims of Iranian terror are awarded. There's $43 billion right now in 80 separate court-ordered judgments that have not been paid to American families, American victims. Not 1 cent has been paid. And we should not lift economic sanctions until first those payments are made to those victims. And there is precedence for this. When Libya, the negotiated deal with the nuclear deal with Libya was arranged, before that deal went forward, we made sure that American families and victims were given their just compensation for Libya's involvement in terrorists in the past, particularly the Lockerbie, Scotland tragic airliner that was shot down not long ago. Next up is an email from Barb in Eden Prairie, and she writes in, "Representative Paulsen, as an educator and constituent, I urge you to support a Higher Education Act reauthorization that increases access to and makes post-secondary education more affordable for more students. Too many students are delaying going to college or graduating with thousands of dollars in student loan debt. Congress can make college more affordable and more accessible for all. Thanks, Barb." Thanks for sharing those thoughts, actually. You're absolutely right that college costs have continued to soar. College debt continues to soar. Yesterday we had a hearing in the Joint Economic Committee, and we heard from Governor Mitch Daniels of Indiana and now the president of Purdue University. And thankfully that testimony provided some new innovative solutions centered around how we address college costs. Because it's interesting, a Federal Reserve study that came out recently showed that for every dollar of federal aid that's given to a college institution, costs have gone up 65 cents. For every dollar of Pell Grants that have been provided to students, costs have gone up 40 cents. So clearly, costs are the driver of student debt, and that's where we need to focus more time and attention with new solutions. Governor Daniels at Purdue University has frozen tuition for 4 years. He's actually clamped down on costs, and we asked him how that community has actually embraced some of these new innovative models. That's what we should be focusing on as policymakers here in Washington, addressing the cost side of the equation, not just only the student debt side of the equation, but they're actually tied together. I want to thank you for taking the time to join on the conversation this week. Continue to reach out with your thoughts, your questions, your ideas. You can reach me anytime, of course, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram now, as well as the website at paulsen.house.gov. Have a great weekend.